Well, it was a good week, but a long week. It was two of our lengthier trips, at West Virginia and at Kansas, and it was a tough schedule for our travel because we played late on Wednesday night and got back really early in the morning, and then had to take off Friday and play a late match on Saturday. And I was just so pleased with our players and our leadership to be able to make sure that we were prepared for this tough stretch, and they did a great job emotionally and played well on both nights. And we're seeing some progress. We're seeing some good things that we've been working on in the gym, and our team's playing at a pretty high level right now. Our passing continues to get better. Our offensive efficiency is getting better, and our kill production is getting more towards where we want it to be. So some good things are happening, but this is always the tough time of the year with midterms, and the freshness of the season has worn off a little bit. The NCAA tournament isn't quite in front of you yet, so we have to do a lot of things to prepare our team emotionally so they can stay strong, because there's a lot of upsets during this time of the year, and we've got to be prepared to go into the second half. We got a 2-game lead, but that doesn't mean anything right now, and this next week and a half is going to tell us a lot. We got TCU on Wednesday here. It should be a great environment. There's going to be some Halloween promotions that we'll be doing. We encourage everybody to come out and be a part of that. And there's only 5 remaining home matches left for the season, so it's important that we get that support. And then we're off to Oklahoma, and then have a bye on Wednesday and get Kansas at home. And so those will be a big telling sign of where we stand in the Big 12 after the next week and a half. So we're excited about it. We're pleased, and our team is working hard and doing a good job. And it's always a joy to go to the gym with this group.
Coach, I think you got like one ranked opponent left on the schedule. In these matches where you're not playing ranked teams, you got to play the conference schedule. What gauge do you get from your team? You expect to go out and sweep everybody, or what do you want to?
No, I mean, we have some good teams in our conference. Some of them are not ranked, but some are right knocking on the door, and have had some quality wins over some Pac-10 or some Big Ten opponents. So we know that they're going to present a challenge for us, and we don't get nights off. I mean, with the jersey of Texas on your back, and obviously winning the championship last year, everyone's very excited to play us, and plays at a high level early on in the match. So we've got to be able to sustain that and play the way that we can. And there's a lot of things that we can work on. We get a lot of free ball, down ball opportunities at times. We can work on some of our transition game, and we're most importantly working on our balance and making good decisions from the setting position.
How is it like to be as far on as you guys are in the season, and know that, I mean, maybe you haven't been right where you want to be, as I feel like you're a tough critic, but being able to sustain that level of play, and we have progressed past the first few weeks, past that first chunk. Yeah,
I give a lot of credit to Hannah and Bailey. They're great leaders. We've got some young ones that are learning that leadership role, but they've done a great job of preparing this team. They hold them accountable. I think the meetings that they're having behind closed doors without us in the room is doing a lot for us, and they are being responsible to this point in terms of how they're approaching the games. I was concerned a little bit going into Kansas State just because of how tough the travel was, and we came out and played really well, and I liked our energy, and we played at a pretty high clip. We could have controlled some of our errors, but besides that, the numbers looked pretty good, and we were in control pretty early.
Jerritt, you get the sense, like from Hannah and Bailey also, that they embrace this #1 ranking thing. It's one thing to have the target on your back, and you guys are used to that now, but to be where you are, to be rolling, to be at the top of the polls, that they embrace that, they really like that?
I don't know if whether it's our staff or whether it's just kind of a program philosophy, we don't talk about being #1. We've always talked about the polls as being a little bit more publicity. It's nice to be recognized by our peers and by the recruits and all that it plays for, but for us, we know what we're striving for, and the #1 ranking right now really doesn't mean anything for us. We're trying to accomplish getting back to that Final Four and giving us another opportunity. So it's more about them embracing what we need to do to be a great team, and being accountable for that on a daily basis, and that starts in the practice gym. And I think when you have players that have that maturity, that's the important factor to being a great team, and that's what we discussed the other day. At some point, they've got to take this on, and we don't need to be telling them all the time about how great they need to be every night. They've got to want to be able to prepare the right way emotionally so they can be great.
You mentioned the transition game earlier. Is that, or is there a different part of the area that you've seen the team come the farthest in specific element this season?
Well, I think we're getting better balance. You know, Chiaka's added a lot. You know, Kat Bell had a phenomenal match. We moved her back to the M1 next to the setter 2 times, and she played great. And Molly's been playing very steady and at a good clip. Our numbers out of system with our outside hitters have been a lot better. Haley's actually been producing at a high kill rate. We just need her to be a little bit more patient in a couple of more swings. But overall, we see some great improvement. Her numbers sometimes don't show that, but she's doing we're getting some kill production from her where it's playing at a high level. And Bailey right now is playing, you know, as one of the best, if not the best, outside hitter in the country.
You mentioned Molly, Coach. What about Molly? She's still young, obviously, but seems like a little character out there.
She's a lot of fun. You know, she's fun to coach, and she's got a great personality. But I think Molly knows that when she steps between the lines, she's all business. She doesn't really take plays off in practice. She's very focused. She's always communicating the right things to the players. She's driven to want to get better. She comes in early. And she's a player that does a lot for this program, and there's a lot to be said in terms of the way that she goes about her daily rituals to become a good player for us.
Any more questions? All right.
Oh, Coach, you got a favorite Halloween costume you had growing up that you wore?
That's a good question. My staff has been asking me to dress up for Halloween on Wednesday, but I don't think I am because we've got to focus on TCU. But I was never a big Halloween fan. I'm more into what my kids are wearing, so they'll be in their little ninja outfits this Thursday, and it'll be fun to be able to hang out with them because there's a lot of times we don't get to be home on Halloween, so we're going to cherish this with all of our kids and spend some time trick-or-treating and enjoying being dads and moms.